People listen to our podcast.
People like me.
We have the data to back it
Yeah,
up.
we were saying this at the restaurant because we were like, maybe we're just not funny. And then Ryan was like, no, we have analytics. People listen to us sometimes. We have to be like at least a little bit funny.
I know that some of the shit that we say is funny.
Oh, God.
And yet when I say it out loud to people who are 25 and under, they look at me like I'm a pedophile.
You're listening to the Laughing Couple podcast with your hosts, Brittany and Ryan Ostafy. Join them weekly as they discuss topics such as relationships, kids, sex, parenting, all unfiltered and all with a healthy dose of laughter. Please welcome your hosts, Brittany and Ryan Ostafy.
Good
Hello.
morning. I feel like our children are coming down the stairs.
No.
Guys.
You know what? We've done a very good job of podcasting when the kids are not here. And that's not today.
Yeah, there's about a handful of times in the in the past 3 years that we've had to do it while they were here, and it's you might just hear some interruptions.
It's not risque as in nudity, but it's risky.
It's a risky,
Risky
business. Jinx, yeah, we a pop. A pop.
Yeah.
Okay, today.
Is the mic fine for you?
Yeah, it's good.
Close enough?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You making fun of me?
I am making fun
I
of you.
see. You wanted to bring that up.
Of course I wanted to bring that up.
It's different.
Just
you
okay.
can
Let me get a an audience pool here going. If a microphone is far away from you, and I say, "Can you get closer to the microphone?" and you physically can't move the chair closer, but you can move the microphone closer, are those the same things?
No, I can say I can't get any closer to the mic, but I can bring the mic closer to me. That's two different things. It's not
But
the same thing.
it's the same thing.
It's not. It's not. What are you saying? It's not.
It's the same thing.
No, it's not. The end result's the same. But if I say, hey, if someone's like, hey, can you park any closer? No, that's not a good one.
Yeah, go ahead. No. I would like to hear your thoughts on this
because
parking.
you can't move the other thing. So it has to be another metaphor that can like move closer.
Moving
like, I
something
got one. I got one.
Yeah,
Stop.
all right.
Okay. Say we're in a tunnel and we are stuck. Okay. And you're like, hey, Britt.
I'm stuck in the tunnel.
Can you inch any closer? Can you inch any closer to me? And I'm going to be like, nah, man, I can't. There's stuff in the way. And then you say, no problem. I can get closer to you. Cool.
What?
Yeah. Like that works. It's not the same thing though. Like I can't move, but you can come to me. Right?
Yeah.
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 I couldn't get close to the mic, but I can move the mic closer to me. Two separate things. I'm just saying.
When I say,
think
can you
you're
get closer?
wrong.
When I say, can you get closer to the mic? That could very well mean just bringing the mic closer to you.
I just like to point out that Ryan leaves tomorrow, and I think we might just be looking for shit to bicker about.
I do. And we're going to get into that subject matter today.
Do you have an I love you and you're annoying?
You go first.
Okay. I think mine is, it's not really like an annoying. It is annoying. For me, I just felt a little, I don't know, this week. So we put the kids in March break, like we talked about last week.
Put them into March break.
March break camp, excuse me.
Yep, we put them in.
And you had a busy week. I had a busy week, but just different schedule wise. And I just felt a little solo parenty in the mornings and when I had to pick up the kids. Like I couldn't
This is
start.
hilarious because this is what I was going to, this is like the other side of the hand here is going to be mine. So go ahead. This is so
God.
perfect. This is amazing. This is what happens when two people have different perspectives of the same event. So continue.
So in the mornings, Ryan has a meeting every morning at 8:30, and we wake up in the morning and
Feeling like
I knew you were going to
Diddy.
say that. And it's a shit show, especially because I think the time change has really like screwed up the kids. So they're sleeping in a bit. We all were. And then we scramble to get up. So I'm making lunches 4 out of the 5 times this week when I was like, hey, can you help me with lunches? And you were like, no problem. So I scramble, I make lunches, I get them ready to go out the door, and they're terrible. Like when we're trying to leave, they're just insane. So it's super stressful. They're bickering on the way there. I come home. I don't start my day till after 10 o'clock. So I'm trying to work from home, minus Thursday because I went to go see Cass. But then I have to stop my day and go pick up the kids and then come back. And like my day is over. and you're still working. And it was just like, I felt a little like alone in the transportation and the planning of like getting the kids to and from camp. And like, let me say this, my schedule can do that. Like I absolutely worked my schedule around that, but it was frustrating because I am managing this. And sometimes I feel like you're like, okay, I got to get up. I'll just shower and I got to go to my meeting, where I'm like, I have to get up. I have to shower. I have to get ready. I've got to get the kids. Like it just felt a little, I needed some help.
Absolutely. It like 100%. I can see your perspective in this situation. 100%. My I love you and you're annoying is the same exact thing, but in reverse, in the sense that I felt this like, not anger, but like distance that you were creating, the space that you were creating of like not happiness around these things that are happening. And I totally knew why you were feeling the way you were feeling. The perspective that I have is I know that we have these agreements, these conditions of satisfaction that says on Tuesdays and on Thursdays, I make the kids lunches and then I help with the breakfast. I understand that. However, or should I say, and although we have these structures in place, there needs to be a time where common sense kicks in and flexibility kicks in the sense that if we collectively wake up late and I have to be somewhere at a particular time and you do not have to be somewhere at a particular time, that would be the time where it says, hey, listen, we're all running late. You have to be here. I know today's the day that you do your lunches. I'm going to take the lunches, which is what happened, but it wasn't communicated upon. And then I was left with the anger that came with it. And so, although I understand your perspective and can appreciate it.
You were left with my anger. You weren't angry.
I wasn't angry. I was great. I had to work.
So here's my
I jumped into work.
Rebuttal with that is that, yes, life gets in the way, or maybe the mornings are crazy and you know your mornings are crazy. So instead of prioritizing and saying, hey, you know what, I'm going to make the lunches the night before because I know that my morning's going to be insane.
It wasn't. We all slept in. That was what happened.
But what I'm saying is your mornings are typically pretty nuts. They're pretty busy. So maybe it would behoove you to make lunches the night before. So you're not waking up and you're not like, hey, I'm scrambled. Can you do this? Oh, what am I going to say? No, the kids aren't going to eat.
Yeah, but
sorry.
Baby, the same thing could be said for the days that you make lunches.
You
wouldn't be stressed down if you had made the lunches
nothing to
earlier.
do with lunches.
There's not a structure in place for us to do lunches in the evening.
The lunches.
And we could put that in, and we didn't. What I'm saying is, although we have structure in our lives and agreements in our lives, there has to be room for spontaneity and there has to be room for flexibility. And I feel like in a situation that totally made sense for me to be like, hey, Britt, I can't do the lunches. And I said it to you. I can't do the lunches. I'm going to be late for my meeting. I went to my meeting. You did the lunches, and I thanked you for those lunches, for doing that. All I'm saying is, in those situations where you recognize that we're all collectively running behind and I have to be somewhere at a particular time, that's just when you're like, I'm coming in to help.
I get it, right? But that's not fair because
if the roles were reversed, I would have jumped in.
I let you talk. It's frustrating for me because we're already late. All of us are late. I am trying to get my shit together because when we come home, we had our videographer coming and I needed to be ready. So I booked.
Jakey boy.
I was trying to get myself ready. And then because you didn't plan right, I am now giving up my time that I figured out. I'm like, you know what, this is the morning. Okay, I don't have to do this. I've allotted this, this, and this. And then you're like, oh, here's a wrench. Figure it out. And that's frustrating for me because I get that you have to be somewhere. But I also I needed to be ready when we got home. And that didn't happen for me because
I totally get it. So this is what I started off by saying. I get your perspective and I can understand and appreciate it.
I think yours is a little ridiculous.
Valid, and I'm validating it.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is if something were to happen for you and I had to jump in to solve the problem, that's what being a partner is all about. I would jump in and solve the problem. I might muddle underneath my breath. You should have planned better. But at the end of the day, if I know that you're in a situation where you can't escape the reality you're in and I have to jump in and take care of something, I'm going to do that because it's not an everyday thing. It doesn't happen with regularity. It's an oddity. All three of those things, same thing I just said, just repeated differently. All I'm saying is I don't do it to you every day. I don't do it to you every week.
Right.
I don't do it to you every month. So when I do it, just don't make me feel bad for doing it.
I get it.
woke up late.
I'm not going to make you feel bad,
All right.
but it's also, I'm allowed to be frustrated with
course,
you because
just
you've just set
deal
my
with it
whole...
yourself like most people.
Fuck you. No.
Right on.
Anyway, that was really frustrating. And then you're like, book a sitter on Thursday. And I did. And then I got everything ready for dinner, made them dinner, got everything prepared. All that shit's still on the...
I was still working.
Yeah. That's okay. Anyways, it was still... No, it wasn't. You were coming back from dropping something off from Mel.
Work.
And then
I was working.
Anyways...
I wasn't here.
You came home and I organized all of that. And all that shit is still sitting on the counter.
What is?
I had to tell you yesterday to clean that up. All of the air fryer stuff is still there from the kids' dinner. It's
Right on.
Saturday.
Okay. Anyways, these bring up a good point.
What?
What did you bring? What did you say?
What do you mean?
You said something. I'm like, yeah, let's talk about that.
What?
I don't remember.
I don't remember saying that.
Oh.
Anyway, we went out for dinner.
Oh, yeah. Boom, boom.
Right. Boom, boom.
So we've talked about this in the past. And for those of you who have been listening from the very beginning, thank you. Thank you so much. We celebrate our Boom Boom Day, which happens to be every single year because that's the day of the anniversary, March 16th. It was the very first day that we boom boomed.
It's our bang-iversary.
It's our bang-iversary. Boom boom-iversary. Is it weird that we celebrate that? Yes or no? I think no.
The response that I got via Instagram was very positive. A lot of women were like, that's actually the cutest thing ever. Like, very positive response. Like, very cute.
When
They're
you
like,
showed
if
people
my
that it's in my calendar?
Yeah. And they were like, 9 a.m. I'm like, the time doesn't matter. It definitely wasn't 9 a.m. Anyway,
no, the 9 a.m. is just a morning reminder to
I was like,
you
listen, I think it's fabulous.
and congratulate you.
Would I have remembered that it was the 16th without you telling me at the 16th? No, I definitely wouldn't, because the only reason I think you remember that is because it was a specific weekend that we went to Ottawa, like for the weekend. And like, it was the first time we kind of like spent the night together.
I remember it because it mattered to me, Brittany.
Cooper, you got to go upstairs, buddy.
But I have to tell you something.
Okay, what?
Yogurt spilled all over my other pants.
Yogurt spilt all over your other pants?
Did you change them? Amazing. High
Oh,
five.
good job, Coop.
Great. I'll be up in a couple minutes and we're going to get your hair cut.
Can't wait to see you soon, buddy.
Say bye.
Bye.
Okay. You got to go now, bud.
Can I have this?
Yeah,
to
go.
keep?
Go upstairs. Thank
Piece
you.
of candy.
Yep, go up. Bye.
We're just talking about how you were created, Coop. See you later, buddy.
Shut up. That was not. Anyways,
Wow, welcome back.
yeah. So anyway, we celebrate that, and by celebrate, because people were like, "Do you mean like you go out for drinks and like cheers to it, or do you like celebrate it?" I'm like, "Do you mean like do we have sex on the day?" I'm like, I think that's probably Ryan's intention for bringing it up every year. Yeah, we try to.
We don't always.
We did.
We did. Yeah. Congratulations. We definitely did. But that is not the intention. The intention is just, I think it's important to find moments in your life that mattered to you, acknowledge them, because especially when it comes to sex is something that I don't care who you are, unless you are doing things creatively, constantly to spice things up. Sex with your partner is sex with your partner. At one point in time, it wasn't. At one point in time, it was something that was magical, something that was memorable, something that you had thought about for a long, long time. What?
Are you saying it's no longer magical? Something that was magical.
It's not memorable. Oh, really? You think it's memorable? Let's go back 7 sexes ago.
Oh my God.
Let's go back
I just
7
mean in
sexes ago.
general. In general. Hold on.
7 sexes carry the one, so it was like 2 years ago.
Sorry. You're trying to tell me that it's okay to be like, listen, sex with my wife is not memorable. Is that what you're saying?
You're taking
So
it.
I'm not your soulmate.
You're taking it.
Sex with me is not memorable.
This is a trap.
Where am I fitting
This is a
in
trap,
here?
Brittany.
Holy shit.
No, let me be clear.
Please.
I enjoy sex with you, and I would love to have it more frequently.
Literally the most pity, like.
No, listen.
It's not you.
It's not pity. It's not pity. It's not you. It's me. No, that's not what I'm saying.
Wow.
You're avoiding my question, which is proving my point. Let's go back 7 sexes ago. Tell me what happened.
I'm not avoiding anything.
Tell me what happened 7 sexes ago.
Listen, I never said,
Listen.
Linda,
Listen.
I never said that specifically each time you're going to remember every single detail.
That's what I'm talking about.
Hold on. I just said in general, sex with your partner should be memorable. You get into like a routine. It's memorable. I can tell you exactly
The 5 moves that I do. Yeah.
No, the 5 moves or whatever, you know exactly when I'm like ready to do something else or whatever. We have like a system in play because we know each other so well. We've been doing this for a while.
15 years.
It's memorable because we have that like comfortability in each other. I know you so deeply and vice versa. Like I know when like we're wanting to switch things up or maybe it's coming to an end, whatever it is, it's memorable.
I think what we're doing is we're trying to take the word memorable, and you have a definition of it and I have a definition of it.
Is it different than default?
It's definitely different than default. And hey, listen, I've even succumbed to the idea that there's a possibility that I can get on board with the default because it doesn't mean to you what it meant to me. I can get that. What I'm saying when it comes to memorable sex, I remember where we were. I remember what time it was. I remember what we were doing the first time we did it because leading up to it, I had thought about it numerous times. I had sex with you multiple times before ever having sex with you. I promise you.
In your head.
In my hand.
Yeah.
And in my head. So the first time the first time I ever got to do it, I remember it. And it meant something to me. And it was a special moment in our lives. It didn't define our relationship, but it certainly cemented it.
It's just a funny thing to say. Like, sex with your partner isn't memorable. Like, you just gotta be careful with that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but...
Yeah. Probably just don't say that to your partner.
But if you use my definition of memorable, you would also agree that you can't remember 4 sexes ago.
My definition. Like, it's a world definition.
Yeah. Memorable.
Just make it up.
Memorabilia.
Okay.
We're not going to put it on the wall.
Let's move into
but we
the
do
fact.
Celebrate it.
Let's move into the fact. So we go out for dinner and we're...
Oh, we're actually talking about the boom boom?
No.
The night of the boom boom.
The night of the boom boom. We go
Not
for
the first
dinner.
night,
We go
the
for
most recent night.
Right. So we go for dinner to celebrate this. And we get to the restaurant and... Ryan and I are like, we've both served. We were in the industry for quite a while. So we are very patient and
Let's be clear.
Right.
Every time we go to a restaurant, we let the server know we're part of this industry.
No, yeah, but
every single time, Brittany, we cannot go to a restaurant without telling the server that we used to do this.
But I say it because
it's weird.
No, it's not.
It's like when you say to a girl, "Oh, I love your pants." "Oh, thanks. They're from Walmart. They're only $12." I didn't ask how much they cost, and I didn't ask where they're from. I said they're nice pants. Hey, welcome to Kelsey's. How are you doing? We used to work here.
No, that's not what happens. I tell the servers.
We understand what you're going through. It's really busy.
You know what? I'll just be over here.
Slammed.
I've literally tried to talk like 17 times, and you've cut me off so many freaking times.
I'm just going to walk away from the mic for a second. Oh, see, I'm getting further away from it.
Okay. So only reason I say that to a server is because if they're getting slammed or maybe we haven't been like talked to right away, I just want to be like, listen, we understand. Don't feel like stressed out. Like, we're not going to be the table that's going to stress you out. And we don't say it every time, but it's definitely something that comes up if we notice some similarities or some empathy. So we go out for dinner and they were put in like literally the most awkward seat in the entire restaurant. Like it was like
should not exist.
It was in the corner. In it, like half of it was a booth, like in the
a
booth.
A what?
A booth.
You know what it should be? It should be a rolling station where they roll. Roll.
And there's like a partition on the one side.
Dubes.
Ryan was like squished into the side. So there are multiple other spots in the restaurant. Okay, so the host sits us there, and so we're kind of like looking around. He's like, your server will be with you in a moment. And Ryan turns to him and he's like, is it something we said? Like, as he sits down, like looking in this like awkward thing. And the host was like, what? And Ryan was like, oh, I just like, we're put in the corner. And he was like, did you want to sit elsewhere? Like the joke went right over his head. And then our server came. She was like
7 minutes later,
monotone Mary, like, and we are like pulling teeth, talking to these people. Hey, like I felt like I was the server. Hey, how are you? Like, how's your day going? When you went to take out your Smile Direct in the bathroom, she came and opened up our bottle of wine, and I was like, I saw a tumbleweed go by in the store because it was so fucking silent. I tried to talk to her. I was like, I'm like, are you a little bit busy? It doesn't seem like there's a lot of staff in here. And she was like, yeah, it's okay. And I'm like, oh, and that's when I was like, we used to work here. So like, don't worry about us. Like we will be patient. It's totally fine. And she was like, yeah, well, just don't judge me if this wine bottle isn't opened correctly. And I'm like, oh my God. And then I tried a couple other things and it was like 1-word answers. And I'm like, I'm going to not try anymore. So then Ryan comes back to the table and I'm talking to him and I'm like, when did we become like adult enough that like we are no longer relatable?
We can't. The kids don't relate to us. This goes back to the
And I don't
conversation we had
feel
last
old.
week when we walk into a pub or a bar or whatever. Do they know we're old? I'm now convinced the answer is yes. I'm now convinced the second we walk in, they're looking at us and saying, don't relate to those guys.
Shouldn't be here.
Don't relate to those guys. I am going to have no interaction with these guys besides what they need because they're too old.
It's not even like it's that, but it's also a sense of like, I just don't feel the youth of today is very good at like chit chat, socializing, small talk.
They're not.
And I truly think it's a multitude of things. Definitely the pandemic really fucked that up for a lot of them because they were isolated for so long. But social media, like they are not
Cell phones, social media, text messaging. Don't pick up the phone.
Yeah.
Don't
like,
pick up the phone, call
you
someone.
You used to have to call
send
and
messages.
ask if you're like ask their parents, hey, is so-and-so home? Can she talk? Like you had to. We had no other choice. Now, I'm not going to lie. I am not a
Appreciate that.
phone. Like I don't love
No, you
talking on the
suck
phone.
on the phone.
I don't love talking on the phone. I've never really liked talking on the phone. Excuse me.
I love you. That is something you're not good at.
Yeah, you've told me
You
this
drive
multiple
me
times.
nuts on the phone. I'm
Don't
like,
call me.
I'm not. I'm like, am I annoying you? Is this a bothersome? Am I
that's-
catching you at the wrong time? Are
but
you
that's
taking
my-
a shit right now?
That's my whole thing is I usually don't have time to talk on the phone. So it's like when someone calls me, it's because they need something.
It's not
if you
that,
wanna,
babe.
If you want to
could be
talk,
driving. You just sound annoyed when you're on the call. And I know it's not a me thing because I've heard my mom complain
Yeah,
about it. I've
I'm not
heard
a
your
phone-
mom complain about it. I've heard your friends complain about it. You are not.
fuck that. You haven't heard my friends
I
complain
have
about who?
too.
Who?
I'm not dropping names.
Lies.
Like, listen, this isn't my story to tell.
Less. I don't
You're
talk
bad.
on the
You're
phone.
bad on the phone.
I don't talk on the phone with
But the
my
millennials
friends.
are worse. They
I don't
don't
talk
even
on the
get
phone.
on the phone. They don't have phone call conversations. They don't have in-person conversations. Everything's done digitally. Everything's done by their thumbs.
I
They
love a
don't
good
know how
voice
to do
note.
it.
I'm not if you're calling me, it's because you need something and it's urgent. Otherwise, you would text me,
You and your
which
voice
is fine.
notes. You and your friends with
I
your voice
love
notes.
voice notes.
I'm like, you can't send an 8-minute
Yeah, you
voice
can.
note. Pick up the phone and talk to them.
No, I like voice notes for this reason. Like I have a few friends that I voice note with. Not all friends are voice note friends because some people don't like it. But my voice notes for me with my friends, this is what I love about it because it's a phone conversation where it's like I get the lowdown on my friend's life. I get to hear all of it. And like usually we send like increments, so like 3 to 4 minutes. So I get to hear it all. Then I get to respond and address it. Where it's like a phone conversation is hard because there's usually so much stuff that we both have to say. And then it's like constantly interrupting each other. So I really like it. Koopy. Oh, goodness. Thank you, buddy. You need to go back up. I love you. I like having that update. And then I like being able to respond on my own time. Do you know what I mean? Like then I'm not forced to being like, oh, I got to listen. Then we go back and forth. And I can still do the rest of my day because I just don't really feel like I allot time for phone calls. But I love a voice note. Send me a good voice note.
Going back to the kids and the youth and our experience in the restaurant, and I feel like we talk about this
We
a
have.
lot. But listen, this is what happened this week in our lives, so we're going to talk about it to a certain degree. Here's what really bothers me: my dad jokes are dad jokes. They used to be charming. They used to be like,
But
"Oh,
now
that
you're a
guy's
dad."
That guy's cute. That guy's funny. The guy's charming." Now it's like, okay,
Yeah. It's
what's
like,
up,
ew.
Mr. Ostafy?
Yeah.
I'm like, that was actually legit funny. And I'll say to you when they leave, I look at you. It's gotten to a
I'm
point
already
now.
laughing
It's gotten
at
to a
the
point
point.
now where I'll make a dad joke and I know it's solid, and I'll look at them and they won't fucking respond, and I'll look at you and you're like holding back laughter because number one, it was funny, and number two, you know how awkward it is that I'm like, why are they not laughing? And so they leave, and I'm like, that was funny, right?
Yeah.
And I hate that I have to try to validate humor because
know.
you know the whole thing is like, if you got to explain a joke, then the joke's not funny.
Correct.
I feel like here's what I think is happening. I don't think it's a lack of being funny. I don't think it's a reality of me being a dad. I think they're just not listening.
Or you're just like,
when they
it's
come
not
to sit you at
landing.
the table, their job is to put the menus on and say like, good luck, have a good time, and enjoy your meal.
The host.
They don't actually give a fuck what you want or what you need or anything along those lines. They're so in their own space.
Yeah.
That they miss the joke. It's not that it's not funny. They miss the joke, and then they know that they missed it, so they'll say something to you like, "Pardon."
I love that you're
and then you gotta
validating your own
explain it
humor.
again. Listen, I know I'm not funny. People listen to our podcast.
People's like me.
We have the data to back it
Yeah,
up.
we were saying this at the restaurant because we were like,
Are we
what
just
is
not
it?
funny?
Maybe we're just not funny. And then Ryan was like, no, we have analytics. People listen to us sometimes. We have to be like at least a little bit funny.
People write and say, "Hey, I'm laughing at work." I know that some of the shit that we say is funny.
Oh, God.
And yet, when I say it out loud to people who are 25 and under, they look at me like I'm a pedophile.
Well, I get
Like,
it.
ew.
I get it. You're right. I think you hit the nail on the head with they're just not listening. They're not present. And that's like, that goes beyond the host. I just think like teenagers today are so elsewhere. Like when they're talking to you, they're usually on their phone or they're thinking about something else. They're not really present. And it is what it is.
You know, the big thing for me is not all teenagers and early 20-year-olds are like this. Here's what it is for me. When we get somebody who is the opposite, who is bubbly, who is charming, who is participating in the conversation, we are left with such an amazing experience. We're like, that server, they're
So
going to be
good.
successful in
Yeah.
life. They've got their shit together. But I feel like that used to be the normal. Mm-hmm. And the bad server who wasn't good at communicating, you're like, oh, good luck to this guy.
Yeah, I agree.
But now I feel like it's the complete opposite. There are certainly great teenagers out there. There are great 20-something-year-olds out there who are destined for success in their lives. And I'm not saying that the other ones aren't. I'm just saying when it comes to inner communication skills, they got to figure it out.
So let's also, so we saw, Ryan and I love the movies. It was one thing that we would do all the time before we had kids. We loved going to the movies. So we were like, we're going to go to the movies. Unfortunately, there's nothing like amazing out right now, but we were like, let's go see 65.
65.
Listen, we love dinosaurs, like Jurassic Park, top 5 movies.
Was it
probably.
65 or 64?
It was 65.
63?
65.
Oh.
So we went to go see 65.
4 or 3.
I would probably not tell people to go see that. Like it was theoretically the concept.
Amazing.
Cool, pretty cool. But the execution just felt a little flat. And I was kind of sad they didn't see any like non-carnivore dinosaurs. Carnivorous.
Carnivorous. Good one.
Carnivorous.
Carnivorous.
Blah, blah.
Carnivorous. The idea of this movie is quite simple. And we're going to get into movies because there's like this going trend that's happening right now. And it's probably because I'm leaving. But the idea is that there are human beings like us in other planets around the world that are so far advanced to a point that 65 million years ago, current us pretty much lived on another planet. Well, not even current us, advanced current us lived on another planet, was doing some sort of mission, ran into an asteroid belt, landed on Earth,
Accidentally.
and the dinosaurs were there.
Yeah.
So, they're us
65 million years
landing
ago.
on a planet and discovering, holy shit, there's these things called Tyrannosaurus rexes.
Well, they didn't know
that
what they
are
were
kill-
called. They called them aliens.
Yeah, they called them aliens. Yeah.
But they were
but we
dinosaurs.
know them as, Tyrannosaurus
I
rexes.
did like how I know what you're saying because we thought the movie was going to be about something else, and we thought that like all of the people on the ship. Spoilers. Also, if you want to see this movie, don't listen to the rest of this.
Well, no, listen, but like,
Yeah.
Don't
Anyway,
see the movie.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it. Anyways, we thought that like the ship, there was probably like 12 to 15 people on the ship. We thought they were all going to land. They were going to have to like battle their way through, try to get back to wherever they were
we
going.
thought it was Interstellar meets Jurassic Park.
Yeah. So we were like, sign us up.
Not it.
Interstellar, your favorite movie.
Interstellar.
Times
Yeah,
2.
baby.
So anyway, basically everybody dies except for the main guy, Kylo Ren, if you guys know who plays Kylo Ren, and then this other girl. And the whole thing is like they're just trying to get back to this escape pod on the other side of like the mountain to leave. But what I thought was cool
Before the pending asteroid hits the
so
planet.
I didn't realize though, like when we went into this, I actually didn't know that this was 65 million years ago. Like I thought it was like just like a different planet or like whatever. I like that they brought in the whole like the meteor is about to hit the earth and like fuck it up, like because it was Pangea. We were talking about that, how
Yeah.
like it was Pangea.
It landed on Pangea.
Which honestly, I need to give myself a pat on the back because I'll never forget Pangea. That's like just something that I feel like I could play on Jeopardy.
I've been doing a lot of research, and the likelihood of the dinosaurs being able to survive that asteroid hitting was the difference of, they say, minutes.
Really?
They say minutes and geographical location, because where the asteroid hit, it happened to hit in low water right at the shoreline, and all of the minerals and limestone that hit because it hit so close to Earth.
Yeah.
That's what sprayed all over the place. That's what created the dust around the Earth. That's what killed off all of the land, all of the plant life, all of the herbivores,
right,
omnivores died because they couldn't eat, and then all the carnivores died because they couldn't eat them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of the whole thing. They said if it would have hit on the
so
actual
you mean
planet,
like minutes
on the,
of like rotation?
Literally minutes, because the Earth is constantly spinning. It was
minutes.
It was minutes. Or if it would have landed minutes earlier, it would have hit more water, and if it would have landed minutes later, it would have hit more land mass. Both of which probably more than likely wouldn't have killed off all of the dinosaurs. And they say dinosaurs would probably more than likely still exist today if that didn't
I wonder
happen.
in like
it
what
was
capacity?
Minutes and locations away from being massively impactful to the Earth, but not wiping almost everything off of it. Anyways, speaking of which,
you don't have to go see
leaving.
the movie now.
I'm leaving. I'm off for a work vacation. I'm not feeling great about it. We had a cool conversation about this, and we can maybe talk about this, maybe not. But it started bringing up some really impactful things about, hey, Brittany, I'm leaving. Here's how you get onto the computer. Here's how you get into our this bank account. Here's what's in this bank account. Here's what's in our savings. Here's what's in our investments. It starts going into all of these things that you need to know in the event that something happened to me. And here we are. I'm 39 years of age. You're going to be 36 this year. We do not have a will.
That's like honestly embarrassing. Like
it's not good.
we keep saying we have to do it.
This podcast isn't brought to you by a lawyer.
No.
We just realized that we need one.
Yeah. And it's not hard. Like I've talked to multiple friends. It's just one thing that I'm like, we have to make time and prioritize, which we haven't do. And I always think about it right before we're about to leave or one of us is leaving. I'm like, why the fuck? Okay. So we're going to hold ourselves accountable. Everyone else can message us the next week. Send us a message being like,
by pigeon.
Did you, bitch, what?
Pigeon messenger.
I thought you said butt pigeon.
Butt pigeon? No.
I'm like,
pigeon.
is that an app?
No, butt pigeon. Just butt pigeon me. That's what all the youth are doing these days. That's why they're not talking to each other. They're butt pigeoning each other. Anyways, no.
Send us a message. Hold us accountable because we're going to book our will next week to do.
So
and if you haven't done it,
do it.
Do it right now.
It's the smartest thing to do. It's kind of scary to do it.
It is scary.
Just
It's
like getting life
fucked up.
insurance is scary to do because you start talking about life and you start talking about death and you start recognizing that all this paperwork that I'm signing right now will one day come into effect. Mm-hmm. And the decisions I make right now will have massive impacts on whoever I put this name down. But more importantly than that, one day I'm going to be dead.
Yeah.
And that sucks. But it brings up, we started watching we've watched 2 shows back to back that are all about like end of time, doom and gloom, aliens coming down, viruses coming down. Which was the last one?
The Last of Us.
Yeah, The Last of Us.
So good. Don't spoil it though. Like a lot of people are watching this. So there's
so The Last of Us was based off of a video game where people were infected by a virus.
But it wasn't. It was a fungus,
It's a fungi.
which was different because a fungus's main purpose is to just infect and spread.
Infect and spread.
And you can't.
And they're all and the fungi is all interconnected.
Right.
So this isn't like zombies. In fact, I read something that no cast member on that show was even allowed to use the Z word or the Z word, depending if you're Canadian or American.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get
Couldn't
it.
use it because these were not zombies. These were infected individuals who were infected by the fungi.
Main purpose
And
is
one of
to
the coolest,
infect more.
most impactful moments in that movie was when they did a flashback to the first reported case, which happened somewhere in Asia. And they brought in this specialist, this fungi specialist. And she said, well, they were talking to her about this. And she said, well, fungi can't live in the human body. The temperature of the human body won't allow it to happen. And they're like, okay, well, we want to show you something. And they showed a dead body. And when she opened the dead body's mouth, the fungi started growing from the mouth. And she almost fainted. The next scene that she sits down and the general says to her, what do we do? And she says, bomb the city.
Yeah. It was just really
it was real. It was so freaking real.
Yeah.
And
That show's so good.
And then we watched this other one where aliens. What was that one?
Honestly,
it was a Netflix
it's
one.
driving me nuts
It was
because
British.
it was so good, like so good, where the aliens essentially come down and there's like 6 different storylines. There's a bunch of kids on a school bus, and then there's like a family.
In Asia. Yeah, there's a family in Asia. There's a family in the U.S.
It was so
There was
good,
a
and
family in
all
the
of the
UK.
stories are kind of like intertwined in a
Somewhat.
way. I gotta figure this out, and if somebody
It
knows
will,
this,
come, it will come to us before we
Write
end
us
this
in.
in the next couple of minutes. But either way, what we were talking about, and Brittany and I, there's a book called The First Wave.
no, the fourth wave.
It's also called The Fourth Wave. But it talks about the first, second, third, and then the fourth wave
Yeah.
is when the book starts to come in. And we've always talked about this. If aliens came down and destroyed the shit out of us, just by the way, let's be real for a second. If any form of alien has the ability to get to Earth,
We're already fucked.
We're fucked. We're
They're
fucked.
already so much more advanced.
The idea that
if
they can just get here,
Yeah.
you would think whatever propulsion system they have, that
Yeah.
same propulsion system can just destroy us.
In their weapon.
So we always talk about this at the end of these movies because for some reason we like these movies. First Wave is like a crapshoot.
Yeah, it's random.
It's a pure crapshoot. You
Random.
don't have a chance of survival unless you're purely lucky.
Yeah.
You're in the right place, right time. They shoot in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
So we're always talking about this. If we're lucky enough to get past the first wave, at what point in time do we give up?
Yeah, like I don't know. For me, I'm going to tell you right now, if I lost you and the kids, I would have a very hard time just being like, I got to push through. But in The Last of Us, like I'm not going to spoil it for anybody, but he loses people in his life. And it's sad and amazing that I think your will to live might exceed what you think it would be. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I think I'd just be like, fuck it. If I'm going to die, like I'm going to die. I'm not going to be like upset about it.
I
Because
know
what do I live
for
for?
a fact there's only 2 scenarios that play out here. If you were gone, Riley and Cooper were gone, and the rest of my family were gone, and I was just left by myself, even if I had friends and I was just left by myself, I would say, fuck it. I would take whatever ammunition I have and I'd go straight at the mothership because I know I'm going to die, but I'm going to go down swinging. And if by chance I happen to be the guy that hits the one spot on the mothership that blows
You're
that
welcome.
shit up, I'm going to fly to Hawaii. I'm going to stay on the beach. I'm going to sell t-shirts to tourists, and they're all going to know that I was the guy that shot that thing down. But other than
I'm that guy. That's what your t-shirt.
I'm that guy. Other than that, like I have no need, want, or desire to be on this earth if you guys aren't here anymore.
Yeah.
And I've come to realize this, and I've come to terms with this. If something bad happens, you will see me in Hawaii. If aliens come down,
Yeah.
and that's how you guys go, like I don't even mean like if something bad happened to you in general, you and the kids in general, I'd be gone. I'd be in Hawaii, and I would be selling shirts that don't say I'm the guy. I'd be like, look at me, I'm sad. But if aliens came down, that was what I'd be. I'd be like, you know what, mothership, I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you. And I have no intentions of living through this.
Yeah.
So if I do, cool. But you better be on the lookout because I got nothing to live for anymore.
If we were all dead, I'd hope you'd remember the sex. Be
At
memorable.
least the first one.
Be
I
memorable.
might not remember the seventh last one.
And on that note, we are out. Have a lovely day. Have a
Good
lovely
luck
day.
with the aliens,
Yeah.
guys. I'll see you on the mothership.
Goodbye.
There goes a sight from my soul.